125:58. A day where crying equals happiness in a way. Allegedly, picturing people rejoice while showing empathy sentimentally. I wish I had that for me. Coming out the womb, I had 48 hours until I saw my father, the real one, not the coward, the one that conceived me. Only God has that power. Out of the concrete grew a rose, but the soil was sour. During my last hours living, my mother got scared. She was unprepared emotionally, so socially she abandoned me and left me to die. She walked out the hospital and nurses didn't know why. She never told a soul inside. Fortunately I was saved, but at what cost? Nurses put me for adoption. My parents were a lost cause that caused anger and grief to fill up inside. I'm starting to question why I didn't just die. I was an orphan for 3 months and got claimed by 2 African Americans. My father was James, he was a barber, and he loved to play games, but so did I. But I won't lie, my anger was hard to hide. I got in trouble in school and he asked why. I told him that white kids were racist inside. It was 1968, the year that MLK died. Only being 10, I seen a lot through my eyes. I was being called a nigger for walking down the street. I look at a white girl and get my ass beat. Confusing times for a young boy trying to be free. I guess that's why your father sent you to the military, but not a branch, an academy. It was sad to see you being the only black male in this racial academy. It was a fallacy and was without your permission. Your pops thought you were missing respect, but you were missing affection, forcing you to go the wrong direction. I can see now why you were afraid of rejection. You were rejected throughout your childhood, and while in the hood, expressing emotions was misunderstood. You were a thug, a traumatized human unable to grieve. People believe that men need masculinity, but society deceived to men that mention and cry. There's a reason why many men commit suicide, but you made it out. You were successful at a young age, escaping the trap of minimum wage. That living check to check was a check off your page, but the monetary momentarily silenced the inner rage. And during that phase you were dependent on money. Every cent was just to keep you obsessed with money. You showed me that money doesn't buy happiness. I tried to help you while I could, but now I'm rapping to this knowing you're gone. And all I got is a song for your name to live on. Yeah. Looking back at my youth, I grew up in similar ways. Although today racism isn't as praised, I never got to tell you these things while you were alive. I tried, but your pride made me hide from you. Couldn't confide in you, cause all you ever did was scream. You would diminish my self-esteem. Although I seemed fine on the outside, I was lying. I was crying on the inside, dying while I abided your every command. I know your goal was to make me a man, a universal objective from every father. But rather than being present, you would get mad and leave. Put pressure in me, make me believe that I needed to change, and so I did. Multiple times you threatened me to a foster home. I was 14, crying, confused, feeling unloved, your one and only son. My resilience is weak when anyone tries to leave, cause it reminds me maybe I'm not good enough. They don't say a word, they just hold a grudge. And now I'm broken, but I'm trying to be tough. My biggest insecurity is being judged, and that's the baggage I got from you. I'm trying to break out, I'm institutionalized. I'm trying, I'm breaking out, but every time I get close, I hear your voice screaming my name. Get back in your cell, I'm a prisoner without chains. It's a state of mind. When I see red and blue, I think of you. It always reminds me constantly of the times you called the 5-0 on me. I still struggle with trauma through that adversity. It's still a burden to me, and that was 2020. George Floyd was still ironically heavy. I tried to avoid the cops, I was scared they would get me. You invited them over cause you were just upset with me. I should have done the same to you back in 2012. We were living in Argentina, life wasn't going so well. I recollect on Fridays you would go out alone, and when I woke up there were prostitutes at our home. And you told me to keep it low key, bribing, manipulating me to never tell mom me. And I didn't, but it wasn't cause of the cash. I was scared you would harass her and then come after me. I remember this memory vividly. You grabbed me by the hair and told me to sleep on the street. My mom tried to protect me. As she got out of bed, you started fighting and decided to put a gun to her head. Shut up, bitch, I make the rules. This is my home. I'll shoot you and kill myself. Denzel will be all alone. After that day, I never looked at you the same. I was ashamed to have your last name. My biggest fear is becoming like you. I would get anxious when people tell me that I look like you. You cut deep in my soul, you love to be in control. I just wish you said I'm proud of you and I love you whole. But I forgive you for everything that you've done. I unlearned the bad you taught, and now my life has begun. I hope I make you proud one day, but until then the clouds are gray. 125:58.